Hello guys, welcome to our new video tutorial series. In my previous video, I had explained about the preemptive and non-preemptive scheduling and discussed what is the differences between the preemptive and non-preemptive scheduling. And in this video, I will explain more about what is the preemptive and non-preemptive scheduling it is and what's the similarities and differences between these. So what is the similarities between preemptive and non-preemptive? So both non-preemptive and preemptive scheduling are designed to manage how the CPU is allocated to various processes in a computer system. So they ensure that the processes get a chance to run on the CPU. So the purpose is same, like both needs to be managed by the CPU, and how does the CPU manage these processes. The main purpose is that for the scheduling. Okay. Next things, processes queue. In both types of scheduling, processes are placed in a queue where they wait for their turn to use the CPU. Simple like that, the ready queue and the running queue. Then the main differences. Okay. Process interruption. Preemptive scheduling allows for process interruption. If a process with a high priority comes in, the current process running on the CPU can be paused and moved to a waiting state. The higher priority, sorry for that, the higher priority process will then take over the CPU. Okay. Non-preemptive scheduling does not allow for process interruption. Once a process starts running to the CPU, it continues to run until it completes. No other processes can, take over the CPU during this time. So in preemptive scheduling, we have the process interruption. Like if there is a high priority process will take over the CPU, but in non-preemptive scheduling, once the process start processing the process, it continues until it completes. No other process can take over that, CPU time. Okay, implications on process turnaround time and response time. Okay, so in preemptive scheduling, turnaround time can vary. High priority processes often have shorter turnaround times, but lower priority processes might experience large wait time if they keep get interrupted. So for example, as I told you previous example, like we have the a teacher and has five students. All students have like two questions each, and teacher is answering all these students one by one. And there's a girl came up, she has a high priority, and she was getting late for the next class, or maybe some other reasons. The professor, have to, like, professor just need to answer the question. In that example, she has only one question. So for example, like, she has a high priority, but she has 10 questions, for example. So in that case, the other five students have to wait until the professor answer all the 10 questions to that girl, because she has a high priority, or maybe she was, had some, uh, you know, the questions are very important, so the professor, uh, needs to answer these questions at any cost. So in that case, professor definitely, answer all these questions, and the other five students have to wait a large, have to wait as much longer as the professor, needs to answer all these questions. So this is the turnaround time. So the what is the response time? Generally better for high priority or time sensitive tasks. They get quicker access to the CPU, leading to faster initial process. So response time is like, for like high priority tasks and time sensitive tasks needs to response, very quickly. They don't have a time to wait. You know. Then there is come non-preemptive scheduling. Turnaround time is usually predictable as processes run to completion once started. However, if process takes longer to complete, other must wait and could increase their turnaround times. So in that example, like we have five students and up one professor, and each student have like two questions. And the professor, answer first student, then second, then third, then fourth. in this example, if the student third have like 10 questions, so in that case the professor answer first student, second student, and on the third student it takes like uh, it takes longer time, to answer all these 10 questions. So the student 4 and 5th have to wait, so their turnaround time is increased. Then what is responsive time? Generally slower, because especially for processes that arrives after a long running task has started, they must wait for the current process to finish, and then there is next turn for their process. So, comparative diagram to illustrate the differences. So, here comes the non-preemptive scheduling, where no, process interruption, everything will be smooth. So, in the left-hand side, you can see there are processes, then there's a arrival time, and there's a CPU burst time. CPU burst time is like how much time it will take to complete the task. Okay, and this is the turnaround time, how much time in total it will take. So as you see that arrival time is time which process came first. So at 0 you can see that process 2 arrive at 0 seconds. You can imagine these in seconds or milliseconds, it's up to you. So the process 2 arrive at 0 second, and it takes 6 seconds to complete the process. So first of all, process 2 came and it will process in the CPU. It will take 6 seconds, and then we have another process, which is process 3, which arrives at 1 second. The next run of that process is P3. It will take 4 seconds to complete the task. Then again, right now it will like 6 seconds, and the process 3 takes 4 seconds. So at 10 seconds, the process 1 will start, because the process 1 arrive at 2 seconds. So the next turn is process 1. It has only 4 seconds, so it will finish it works in 4 seconds. Now the total time is 14 seconds. So as you see that P0 arrives at 3 seconds, and it will take only 2 seconds to finish their task. So if like mm, the process arrives at 3 second, and it will take 2 seconds, so in total it will 6 seconds, like it should be, but in total turnaround time is 16 seconds. So process 0 have to wait 16 seconds to finish it process, because all the other processes are in the queue. So they first finish, and then process 0 has a turn to complete his process. So in that case, process 0 have to wait 16 seconds to complete the entire process in the non-preemptive scheduling. This is something like that. First come, first serve. First process 2 came, then 3 came, then 1 came, and then 0 came. So as you see that the process 2 will take 6 seconds. The other processes will take 4, and the process 0 has less seconds, like 2 milliseconds only. But still, it have to wait for like 16 seconds to complete the time. On the other hand, we have the preemptive scheduling. So now you have this example. Now you can see that, okay, so in that case we have again 4 processes. The first process is arrived is 0 second. Okay, it will came, and it is in a ready queue. It came. It takes 6 seconds to complete that process, but it doesn't take, it just take only 1 second. This is how preemptive scheduling works. So it will take only 1 second. Then there is come, the P3. P3 has only arrived at 1 second, and it takes 4 seconds to complete. So we do not, complete the P2. If we complete the P2 like with the non-preemptive, it will take like, you know, 6 seconds, and then after 6 seconds the P3 came, and but in that case P3 has a high priority, and it's need to be complete first. So in that case, P2 again go to the uh, waiting state, which will be in a ready queue again on the next of the queue. This is the queue first come first. Then it will go to the end of the queue because it needs to be complete, and it's get done, we will next move to the P2. Okay, so once P3 has a high priority, it will complete 4 seconds, then arrive. The turnaround time is 5 seconds. Okay, it comes at 1 second and it will take 4 seconds. The turnaround time is 5 seconds for that. This is how high priority task will deal. Okay, then we have the another. According to the non-preemptive scheduling, we should go to the process 1, but in that case we have a process 0 which needs to be done firstly, because it's still at arrival time is 3. So we have right now 5 seconds to complete, and then again we don't move to the process 1, we just jump to the process 0 first, and it will take only 2 seconds. So we complete these 2 seconds. Now the turnaround time is 7 seconds for the P0. Then according to the uh, we again go to the second task, because we go to the process 0 for high priority. Now we move to the process 1, and as you see that process 1 will take 4 seconds. So it will complete the 4-second task processes. And as you see that we had the process 2 which just execute 1 second in the process. So it's in the ready queue right now. So we just go to the running queue and it will complete remaining 5 seconds. And the turnaround time of process 2 is 16 seconds. So in the previous example, you see that the turnaround time of process 2 is only 6 seconds, because it came at 0 second and it will take 6 seconds, so it will finish at 6 second. But in this example, we have the high priority task, so it will take 16 seconds to P2. So it's good for preemptive scheduling, is good, like mm, maybe it will take like the process 3 will take only 4 seconds, the process 0 will take only 2 seconds, so why should it wait for uh, for their next turn? In that example, you see that process 0 has only 2 seconds to need to execute, but it have to wait 14 seconds for its turn and then execute at 16. So this is how high priority and the uh, tasks that are shorter time need to be executed in preemptive scheduling. Hope you understand this very well. This is a key points. Interruption, preemptive scheduling allow for process interruption, give priority to urgent tasks, like the way we give to the process 3 and process 0. Turnaround time and response time. Preemptive scheduling can improve response time for high priority tasks, but may lead to longer around times for lower priority. Non-preemptive scheduling provide more predictable turnaround time. So this comparison show how each scheduling time impacts their performance. You better understand this from this example. Like in this example, if we have like more processes and we know the CPU time, which like how much time it will take to complete that task, we can predict the turnaround time for the process as well. But here we we cannot predict at that time, because we have the high priority task can become at any time. So this is how it was. Hope you like my video. Please share, like, and subscribe for the more informative video about the operating system and the preemptive and non-preemptive scheduling. In my next video, I will explain more about and what are the algorithms we use in preemptive and non-preemptive scheduling. Thank you so much.